Okay. Three, two, one. Hey, what's up, everybody? Scott here from Peak Prosper. I got Logan with me today from Basecamp Ouray. Shout out to Basecamp Ouray. I just returned back to Whitefish, Montana after spending a week in Ouray, Colorado with Logan. And we did a deep dive into his business and his personal life. And just, it was like a 3-day coaching intensive. And Logan got a bunch of great value out of it that we're going to be talking about today. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Hey, Logan, can you take a second to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about Basecamp Ouray and what you guys are all about.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks a lot, Scott. Yeah, so I'm the owner of Basecamp Ouray, a small bouldering gym and a big guiding business. We're super excited about kind of our evolution. We're definitely, in the startup phase of things, but we've learned a lot in the last couple of years, and just super grateful for the opportunity to work with you. And it's this last week that we got to spend together was transformative, to say the least.
So Logan, before we jump in and talk about our awesome experience there in Ouray last week, let's kind of reflect on our work that we've been doing here over the last almost year and a half now through Zoom and personal coaching via digital platform. Can you just tell everybody a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody on the planet's pretty familiar with, Zoom meetings and all of this, which has been an awesome platform for us to be able to do these coaching sessions on. This having you as a mentor over the last year and a half has really evolved. And, I think that there's a lot to be said about the objective accountability within the coaching dynamics. It's been incredibly helpful for me and giving me a lot of insight that I think, although I love my friends and family, isn't always available. So, it's wild to think about all the peaks and the valleys that we've gone through. And, I think that things are always in evolution, but this whole process has really helped me continue to accelerate forward in a direction that I feel like is in line with my values and who I am.
So Logan, we started talking about you hiring a consultant or someone to help you in person a couple of months ago. And I mean, lo and behold, you decided to fly me out there, of all people that you could have chose. Why did you decide to bring me out there to Ouray, Colorado, and have an in-person experience versus some other consultant?
I think that like the biggest element in that decision really was, I knew that I didn't have a lot of time to spend with the consultant, and I didn't want to spend half my time explaining who I was and the way that I felt about things. So for me, it seemed that it was an obvious choice to go with you in that we've been working together, and, you understand who I am on a personal level as well as a business owner. And, a lot of the characteristics of our business, have been evolved by your influence. And so I was really excited to kind of, not only for you to come out here and see the context in which I'm making these decisions and understand the people and the places that come into decision making, but it just, I think that within the climbing gym industry, there are a lot of different specialists, and within the guiding industry, there are a lot of different specialists, but having somebody that had a better understanding of who I was and how I interact with my business was going to give me the most value. So that seemed to me to be the biggest, reasoning behind that.
Logan, can you share with everybody a little bit about what?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Can you share with everybody a little bit about what we did first when I came there to Ouray?
Oh man. Well, I would say the first thing that we did is, kind of flip the whole business upside down, almost literally. We cleaned the entire place out top to bottom. And I think that, it's an interesting deal, right? Like you start cleaning everything out, and it seems that it can become stressful because you're exposing all of the hidden cobwebs, both metaphorically and literally. And so, you get everything out in the open. And I think that kind of vulnerability also lends itself to tremendous growth. So, that first day when you came in here and, laid out that pair of socks, and you told me that, the way that you fold these socks is going to determine how much money you make. And I thought, oh, that seems very obscure. But that vision kind of carried through. And as we kind of went through and really just inventoried, everything, the parts and pieces, and cleaned that out, it gave me a whole new perspective and excitement, in that it allowed, the clean space allowed for the mental bandwidth to be implemented. And that was something that I just didn't quite understand until I really had somebody there saying, no, we need to go through every single section. I know there were a lot of times where I was like, oh, we're done. And you just kept being persistent, and more, keep it clean. It can be better. And God, by the end of it, and to this day, the place is spotless. And what that does for me internally as a business owner is profound. As somebody who struggled with organization most of my life, I had never really seen the light of why it's so important to keep your place clean, because it's reflective of your mind. So that was huge for me.
So of all things we first started with, we started by cleaning. And what kind of effect has that had on your state of mind?
Man, it's been incredible. It's affected all elements of my life, my health, my business, my relationship. Again, as somebody who's not known as being the most organized person, swinging that pendulum to the other side and seeing that light has been monumental. I mean, again, the condition of your environment is a reflection of the internal conditions that we have to deal with. And I think that being a business owner is all about making real-time decisions with real life consequences. And in order to make those decisions from a place of clarity, your space must reflect that.
Logan, what are some of the other key takeaways or breakthroughs that you got as a result of our in-person experience that you just couldn't have gotten or were not getting through a Zoom coaching experience?
Well, I think that, inherently the screen is a layer, right? And it's one thing to interact over this platform and to talk, but it's a different thing to be around somebody with their body language, with the intent behind their actions. So I think that having the one-on-one time with you really, it was profound in the sense that, typically with our coaching, it's like we do this coaching session and then it's over, and I can kind of go back to whatever chaos I was involved in prior. And so having you here, it was a continuous effort, and those days were so efficient. We were able to accomplish so much simply because there wasn't, okay, that was great, on to my next thing, and close the screen. It was, okay, now we're going to go to the next thing. And I think that, again, although there's a lot of value in the online, you just can't replace the physical presence with somebody, and getting to understand who you are outside of just the coaching spectrum was huge. And it really built a lot more respect for you and what you're doing. And just having the time to learn lessons outside of the capacity of just a call, like walking down the road from climbing together, we were able to discuss and see things and pull parallels that maybe we wouldn't have had those cues otherwise. So yeah, I think that and everybody knows this, right? But the human interaction is really key to establishing a mutual respect.
So we spent a couple of days climbing and rappelling and exploring Uray and aligning some of the analogies from climbing with those of life. Can you share with us a couple of those?
Yeah, I mean, do you mean just the adventures, or?
Sure, the adventures, or how the peaks and valleys in the mountains correlate to the peaks and valleys that you've maybe experienced in your life or your business?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, you know, it's an interesting dynamic in coaching in that, you know, I look to you as the coach. And so to be able to have the opportunity to, you know, and you know, you have a lot of experience in the mountains, which is great, but, you know, with the dry chilling, that was something that was totally new to you. And so it was really awesome for me to be able to like push you in something that you weren't too familiar with. Which is, I think it really speaks to the capacity that we all have to educate and to learn from each other. So that was definitely like something that I was really stoked about, is to, you know, really show you a sport that I'm super excited about and very passionate about, and to see you interacting with that was awesome, man. And I think, you know, it's very easy to talk the talk. It's a whole other thing to walk the walk. And what I know about climbing to be true is that people do show their true colors, you know, when they're challenged. And so it was awesome for us to interact in that capacity. I felt like there was, you know, maybe a more of a mutually beneficial learning experience instead of me just coming to you with my problems.
Yeah, and for those listening, dry tooling is this sport where you're effectively using ice tools to rock climb.
The dark arts.
Yeah, what a wild experience that was. Logan, if somebody's out there, they're looking for a coach. There's thousands of people that they could choose to help them through this transformative stage in their life, and they have this choice to hire someone to work with them through a digital platform like Zoom or Skype to kind of do this remote coaching experience versus flying someone out to their hometown or visiting someone in their coach's hometown. What kind of insight could you share with that individual, having experienced both digital coaching and the in-person experience now?
Well, I mean, for one thing, you know, I've always thought this, that the value and dedication that you've brought to every single one of our calls has just been profound, and a level of commitment that I've never experienced before, which is super inspiring. Again, I think that it's easy to project the person that you want to be on a screen. It's a whole nother ball game to live it. You know, I have learned a lot from you over the digital platform, but the lessons that were learned in your presence here and working with you directly, I would say, you know, and this is, you know, they're profound changes. I mean, it's being in this environment and seeing my world through different eyes and looking at things in a different way has just made transformative changes in how I live my life. You know, since you know, you've left, I've continued to follow the same rhythm, and I've even got a couple of my other really good friends and young, you know, adventurous men involved in this process as well, and they're already seeing the benefits. And so the ripple effect, I think, is so profound. You know, I think that it's a lot to ask somebody to come into your world and to help steer, you know, to help steer your ship. And I think that it's, you know, it's imperative, right? If you want to make real change in your life, you have to change the way that you do things. You know, I feel like I've been running on a hamster wheel for a long time and expecting different results. And so having you come here and, you know, changing the way that I start my day and doing these, you know, working out at 5:30 in the morning and then going into meditation, going into these mindset practices, doing these things, you really see the benefit of it. So yeah, I mean, I would just really sum it up, and it was an incredibly transformative experience, and one in which will change the way that I live my life fundamentally. And I've been incredibly inspired uh, to give the gifts that you have given me to other people around me, and that will continue to push me forward. So, I can't thank you enough for that experience.
Logan, can you share with those listening a little bit about this little Peak Prosper men's group that is kind of starting there in Ouray, Colorado at base camp?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I initially it was kind of you build momentum, you work with your coach, you get excited. I had reached out to a couple of my good friends that I think are also incredibly adventurous men, and I wanted to create a structure of accountability for myself, and I think that we're not meant to take all of our journeys alone. And I knew that if I had some other people involved, it would help hold me accountable. And now what I'm realizing is that your methodology is not only applicable to me, but to so many other people, and that they're seeing the value in the lessons that you've helped provide us. And, Peak Prosper has really allowed us to have a lot of structure, which has been huge. And I think it's one thing to get, somebody psyched on and say, oh yeah, I had this coach and this consultant and we came and did this stuff. It's another thing to get those same people to show up every day, even when it's dumping snow outside and 14 degrees out, for them to be here and ready to go. It's super motivating for me. It's super motivating for those guys. And I can feel this momentum rolling, and now that they're starting to really get excited about this, they're telling other people, and it's just, it's so awesome to see a community that can be built out of, really love and compassion for each other, but also to have the drive and inspiration to have the hard conversations, to do the inner reflections, to think about what is your desired outcome and how do we achieve that. And, like you've always said, right, peaks and valleys. And so that level of accountability and what I kind of am calling the Peak Prosper Ouray sector, I think is, it's going to be a foundation that's going to lead to a lot of successful things within myself and the other individuals that are kind of joining this, and I think collectively there's a movement to improve your life. And if COVID and all this has shown us anything, it's that we need to value each other, and we need to value the time and the way that we talk to each other and how we push each other to be better people.
Logan, if somebody's on the cusp, they're trying to make a decision as to whether or not they want to bring me into their life as their coach, or they want to invest in coaching and an in-person experience kind of in tandem as a single experience, what would you suggest to them? What insight would you share with them?
I think that the in-person experience is crucial to tying it all together. I definitely think that there's a ton of value in the online coaching, but having that in-person experience can really light the fire underneath you to really get after it. I would think that there are a lot of people out there that are proclaiming this idea of being a coach or a mentor, and I think some of them bring value, and I think that some also don't. And your time is your most valuable asset. No matter how hard I work, I can't buy that time. And so I know that working with you has really helped me understand the value of my time. My only regret is that I just hadn't started doing these things earlier. I think that it's easy to be on the fence because that's comfortable, and we don't learn anything when we're comfortable. And, having a coach like you who's really pushed me to understand a lot of these, concepts that intuitively I think I knew, but I wasn't willing to implement, again, out of a place of comfort and security. And I think as men, we need to push ourselves just beyond the line of fear, and there's a lot that can be learned about that. And yeah, I would just say that, if you want the same results, keep doing the same thing. And if you want different results, you're going to need to do different things. And working with you has single-handedly been the most powerful and an influential aspect in what I like to believe is a transformative period of my life.
Hey, Logan, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us today and taking some time out of your day. If people are visiting this little town of Ouray, Colorado, where do they find you? Where do they learn more about Basecamp Ouray?
Yeah, they can definitely check out basecampouray.com. We'd love to take people out climbing, ice climbing at the Ouray Ice Park, which is a super unique and amazing experience. So they can check us out there. Our doors will be open at 5:30 in the morning and the lights will be on, and we'll be doing our thing. So if you find yourself in Ouray, come on in, join up, we're doing great things. And if anybody has any questions about my experience with working with you, I would encourage you guys to reach out to me, basecampbouldering@gmail.com. And I'd love to have that conversation with you. And I can't thank you enough for taking the time to come out here and really, making your mark on not only my business, but I think also this community. And it's just, it comes back to this idea of self-actualization, right? And, you have helped me be successful, and that's inspired me to help other people be successful. And when you're in that place, a lot can be achieved. So.
Hey, thanks again, Logan, and everyone listening. Thanks for chiming in today. See you later.
Peace.